All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is episode 2 of building our ultimate super app, where you're going to be learning how to create a fully functioning social media application, a fully functioning commerce, and also a fully functioning rideshare and food delivery application. Now, in the last video, we created, or at least essentially we designed the onboarding, basically what you're looking at on screen here, where it has your logo, it has this beautiful look to it, and when you click on it, it shows you the login and sign up credentials ready to go right away. Now, in this video, we're going to be implementing Firebase authentication, and additionally, we're going to be creating our profile management system. Hopefully we can get that out of the way, but that is the goal. And so yeah, let's go ahead and begin. We're gonna go ahead and start by looking at Xcode, and there's a few things we're gonna want to do here. And before I start creating any sort of files, we're gonna go ahead and add the Firebase package right away. So you're gonna go to File and you're gonna go to Add Package Dependencies. Now we'll be right back here on this page in a little bit, but you want to go ahead and go to your Safari or Google Chrome, whichever one you prefer. You're gonna go to firebase.com, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna sign in with your email, and you're gonna go to console and you're gonna go ahead and hit create a project. Now it's gonna ask for your project name, and this is pretty much whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call ours Prima, which is the name we've been going with for the entire series, and it's gonna ask for an ID. Now this ID has to be, first of all, 6 characters, so just make sure it's 6 characters, and this one is taken, so 2025. Why not? There you go. How is it taken? Okay. You know what? We're gonna go with the default unique identifier. That works with me. All right. It's gonna ask if we want to add analytics to our testing. Not yet. Not as of now. We're gonna go ahead and hit create project, and so that's gonna take a little bit. You want to give it time to load, and eventually it should be done. Now, just a quick side note here, I do want to say thank you. I do appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving, as well as on the Patreon. If any of you ever want files for these projects, they're always available on the Patreon. It's ready. We hit continue, and we have our project. Now we're working on our iOS application here, so we're gonna go ahead and hit iOS, and it's gonna ask for the Apple bundle ID. Now you might know this by head, but if you don't, you're gonna go to Xcode, and we're gonna hit cancel here, which is kind of backward, but I'm gonna hit cancel, and we're gonna hit Prima, and we're gonna go ahead and copy this bundle identifier here. Now obviously you can't copy it. If you hit this arrow, it'll take you to basically it's just moved from general to signing capabilities, and you're gonna go ahead and copy that, and you're gonna go back to your dash here, and you're gonna paste it in there, your app nickname Prima, and don't worry about the App Store ID. We're gonna be worrying about that later on. Now you're gonna hit register. It's gonna say download Google Service Info.plist. You're gonna allow that, and it's gonna download it. You're gonna hit next. Now it's gonna tell you to get the Firebase SDK. You're gonna just hit this copy thing here. You're gonna go back to Xcode, and you're gonna go ahead and do a file, add packages, and you're gonna paste that URL right here. So that's gonna open up this thing here. We're gonna hit add package. Now, as soon as it is done adding the package, we'll be able to pretty much set up Firebase really quickly here. All right, and it takes a little bit of time. Firebase is a very big library, and it has everything from storage to database work, and also messaging, which we'll be looking at in this series. We're going to be looking at notifications and everything, but for now we're still on authentication, so let's just keep it short, sweet, and simple. We're gonna go back to Safari here. Now we're gonna hit next. Now it's gonna give us this initialization code here. This is very important. What you're just gonna do is you're gonna copy all of this. So essentially just highlight everything and hit copy. And you're gonna go back to Xcode and hopefully it is done. Yep. So what you want to do is you want to make sure here where it says add to target, you want to make sure you add the following to your target. First of all, you need Firebase Auth. So we're going to go ahead and add that. You can add Auth combine. You're going to add Firebase database. You're going to add Firebase database Swift. You're going to add dynamic links. You're going to add Firestore. That's a good one. What is that one? Yeah. Firebase Firestore combined. You can add that. You're going to add Firestore Swift. You're going to add functions for sure. And go ahead and add functions combine, messaging for sure, and Swift. You're gonna add Firebase messaging without a doubt. Remote, we might do remote config at some point, but I don't think we need to add it right now. Hey Siri, I'm up. All right.
Hi there. By the way, it's 4:30 p.m.
All right, so you want to add Firebase storage, and you're gonna do add package. Now, once you have done that and you've taken that out of the way, we're gonna go to Prima app, and remember that code we copied. We're just gonna paste it all right here, and make sure you change here where it says your app to the name of your app. So basically just change it to the same file name right here. You could just copy that as well. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to go ahead and start setting up the authentication. Now, there's a few things that's going to happen here, and this is not exactly the typical traditional way of authentication that at least we're doing as of now. However, it is it works, and so we're just gonna work with it, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. But you want to select these groups here, and you want to just do new group from selection, and we're gonna call this views. Next, we're gonna go ahead and create a new group just outside, and we're gonna call this data manager, or you can call this view model. We can call it view model so that we work with the MVVM data structure. Now, there are many data structures that we do work with. In this series, we're going to be working primarily with the MVVM, and yeah, feel free if you want to make any modifications to make your modifications and then share with me or anybody else. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do new empty file here. Well, that is not what I meant to do. We're gonna delete this actually. Okay, we're gonna do file new file from template, and we're just doing a Swift file just because the boilerplate code does somewhat work. Now this file, we're going to call this auth view model. And now what we're going to do is you're going to import Swiftui, and you're going to make an observable object here. So you just make it conform to add observable, and you do class, and this will simply be auth view model, and you go ahead and open and close it. And we want to do a few things here. So we want to create a few functions and a few variables. Now before we do that, we need to go ahead and create a new folder, and we'll call this folder model. And we're going to go ahead and create a new file, and it's just going to be a regular empty file. Now we're going to call this file account. So just go ahead and call this account. Now we're gonna go ahead and again import Swiftui. Not that we have to necessarily, but we're gonna go ahead and do that. You're gonna go ahead and create another file, and we'll call this file profile. There you go, perfect. All right. And then we're gonna go ahead and again, I always prefer just importing Swiftui. Now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a class, and we're gonna call this profile, and we're just gonna leave it empty. We're gonna create an account, and you guessed it, we're gonna just create an account, and we're gonna leave it empty for now. Now what's gonna happen is in our view model here, we're gonna go ahead and do variable accounts, and this is gonna be an array of account, and then we're gonna do var current account index, and this will be an integer, and by default it is nil actually, so just make it optional. And then we're gonna do var profile, or rather current profile. It would just be a profile, and we'll just make this optional as well. So hopefully that should be right around fine. Make sure this is empty by default, and that should take care of that error. Now we're gonna do a few things here. We're gonna go ahead and import Firebase, and you're gonna go ahead and you're going to create a few functions. So we're gonna do func create account, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure that it takes in an email, which is a string, and it's also going to take in a password, which is also a string. Now actually, instead of doing that, actually yeah, just leave it as that. Create account, and we're going to go ahead and do Firebase auth, or rather you want to do auth dot create user with email, and that's gonna take in an email, which we already have, and it's gonna take in a password. Now we're supposed to have the one with the completion handler like that, which has an auth data result and an error. Now we want to go ahead and parse the error first. So we're going to do if let error, and we're going to go ahead and just do something about it in a second. Just create a variable named error, and this would just be a string, just an optional string. And we're going to do self.error will be equal to error.localized description. And so what that's just going to do is it's going to turn it into English, or at least it's just accessing the readable string of the error, because error is actually a type. So yeah, and that should be good. The next thing is we're gonna parse the result. So if let result, and what we're gonna do about the result is we want to parse this as an account. And so we're just gonna, this is more so just saying, hey, it's successful, and we shouldn't need to do much except for a few things. So we want to go into our account. Now in the account, we just want to take two things, at least for now. So we're gonna do email, which is a string. We're not gonna do anything about the password. Once we use the password, we want it gone and absolutely gone. We don't want to store it locally, but we do want profiles, and this will be an array of profile. And if you've been following, we're just gonna do that. When you just say I, it should give you the full initializer, and that should be good for now. Now, going on with time, we might adjust things like birthdays and all that kind of stuff and add it. I don't want to add everything all at once. I kind of want to take you through every single process in a way that everything makes sense. That way, there's no confusion. But now we have the result here. We're going to just say let account. And actually, we want to do var account will be equal to, and you're just going to create an account object. Now, typically, I don't ever recommend parsing things directly through an object like this, but to create a function within the class object that can handle all this data. But as for now, we're going to do this, but going on with time, I will definitely have us refactor that code. But the email will simply be email, and it wants profiles. We're going to keep this empty for now. But what we need to do is we need to create a function, and this function is called load profiles. And it'll be very simple. The way it works is we're just going to check. We're going to do if two things. So if accounts dot is empty, we actually, if it's not empty, and we're going to do and current account index is does not equal to nil. Right, does not equal to nil. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and call Firebase firestore.collection. I'm gonna do profiles, and we could shorten this here, and we can do accounts if let we're gonna do it this way. So we're gonna do if let current account, and what we're gonna do is we're actually going to create a var current account, and this will be an optional account, and we're gonna make this a computed property, because what we actually want to do is we're gonna return accounts at current account index, and that is I'm gonna do if let current account index, and there you go. Yep, and so that should be good. And so now we just get a current account. Make sure that this also is optional, because it is optional. it is very possible that, yeah, and then just make sure, otherwise it just returns nil. Perfect. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is what you say profiles dot where field account ID is equal to current account dot ID. And that is true. We do need to make sure we have an ID here. So this is going to be var ID, which will be a string. And we need to make sure we add it there. So ID string, and then we make sure that by all means we do self dot ID will be equal to ID, and that should be good. Now what we actually want to do here is also fix this, and the ID here is actually the result dot user dot UID. There you go. And now everything should be kind of good. Now we're looking pretty swell. We're looking pretty good. And now what we need to do is we need to set up the we need to finish setting up this function here that has found the matching profiles with the current ID. Again, we want to say dot get documents. Now you could do a listener on this, but for now we should be fine with the get documents. If we ever need to swap, we will swap. So we're going to do snapshot, and then again error, and like I mentioned earlier, you want to handle your errors first. So if let error, and we go ahead and parse the error here, and then to parse to just just break down the data into actually what we can use it for. And then we're going to do if let snapshot, and what we're going to do actually here is because we're loading profiles, we actually want to have a completion handler here, and this completion handler will be our profiles. And I always recommend just having a custom completion handler, and so it'll be just type alias completion so just we'll call this, we want to call this something, so we're just going to call this profiles or account profiles completion handler. That is a very long name, but we're gonna call it that, and we'll literally just do it like that. Excuse me. And it'll have a profile in there, and little arrows like that, and that should allow us to do what we want. And so what we just do is we say at escaping, and we do that. So now if we ever have a problem with completion handler, we just come back here. And so now in the snapshot here, we can say completion, and want to say snapshot dot documents dot map. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say we're gonna have a profile dot, in this case we can just create a blank profile, we don't have anything useful happening with this profile yet, and this is supposed to be let. So if let snapshot, and we can go ahead and remove this optional here. Right. It expects an argument. All right. So this document map here does have data in it. So for now, we just have to just not use the data for now, and that should be fine. And now we can just load profiles right here. Right, we can do self.load profiles, and it's gonna have our profiles in here. And here what we can do is we can go ahead and put our profiles right here. So we just call this profiles, and make sure you have profiles in. There you go. And this is self. There you go. And so when it comes to creating an account, everything should be in place. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do func log out, and we're just gonna create a do try auth sign out, and we do have to catch any errors, so we're just gonna do that. And I guess yeah, for now that works. We have a function for logging out, and we have a function for creating an account. We're gonna quickly make a function for signing in. So log in again. Login does take the same parameters as create account, and we're gonna do login, and then we're just gonna do that. Now in our login, we'll do auth dot sign in user with email. We got the email part and password. Okay. And the email, we put the email, the password, and the completion. There you go. Now I know with Xcode 16 we do have the ability to handle or to do auto completion. So I wonder if it will be able to, if I do handle errors, error and result. And so we just do if nah, okay, that's fine. We just do if let error, same thing that we did early on. We'll do self.error. Oh, actually, we didn't do anything for logins. Actually, self.error will be equal to error dot localized description. And then the other thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and do self, or outside we're going to do if let we're going to do if let result, and again we do the exact same thing here that we did here. Now I've already taught you this on many occasions. Anytime you see repeating code, go ahead and create a method for it. So handle result, and so you go ahead and you want the auth data result, I believe that's what it is, and you want to actually call this result like that. There you go. And this should be optional. and it has the email, and so we're gonna handle the auth data result. You know what? We'll come back to. Do I want to come back to it? Yeah, sure. We'll come back to it. I mean, it's just because it shouldn't be too much of a problem, just because it's literally just this one function out of two. So that should be good. So we have ability to have profiles, log in, and create an account, and sign out as well. So what we want to do now is we want to go back to our onboarding process. We're going to go to our authentication view here, and now, as you should know, we want to be able to tie our text fields, which are right here. Instead of constants, I want to actually have add state. So we're going to do add state for our email, which will just be an empty email. We're going to do add state var password, which will be equal to just an empty password, and we'll do add state var password confirmation, which would be just that. And we'll do var can proceed, which will be a boolean. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, as long as the email dot text dot is empty. So we're gonna return this. You don't have to write return, but I just want to make it as clear as possible. And the password dot text password dot is empty. My bad. Can proceed. This can be empty. This can be empty. And one more thing. And want to put this in brackets. Want to put this in brackets, and what we're going to say is auth type does not equal to sign up, right? Or means it does equal to sign up. We're going to make sure password is equal to password confirmation. And so that should handle pretty much most of our kind of like the standard validation. So yeah, let's go ahead and replace this email binding here with the actual email binding. So $email, and then we're gonna do password. I'm gonna do $password, and we're gonna do if auth type. If I could get auth type is equal to sign up, then we need a custom text field. And I think we do not have a separate, we don't have a separate one. So we're just gonna do confirm password. And it's just of a type password, and that should be good. And then this would just be password confirmation. And we can go ahead and delete that. Now, everything should be good as far as showing text, views is concerned. And the next thing is to come here where it says continue. I guess maybe it should proceed. Maybe I should change this to should continue, just so that it makes sense. Continue. Can continue. There you go. Now here, what we want to do is want to go back up here and we want to create at state var auth view model. You can call it whatever you want, and it'll just be auth view model, and we'll just create just an object of this data type, and we're gonna let it load. Now here we're gonna do two things, right? We're gonna do if we can do a switch statement here. So we do switch, and we're gonna switch on auth type, and we'll do case it is login. Then we want to call auth view model dot login with email and password. Case it is sign up, we want to call auth view model lowercase a dot sign up, or create account with email, and password. Case dot none, we want to break, and that should be it. Now here we want to make sure that here we want to make sure that we fix something here real quick. Right here on the background, what I'm gonna do is in our constants where we have our primary colors, we're gonna create our gray colors here. So just we do gray colors, and really I'm just gonna do dot secondary and dot gray, really, and that should allow me here to say, okay, either have, we're gonna do can continue. So if we can continue, we're gonna have those primary colors. Otherwise, we're gonna have constants dot gray colors. Now, the other thing we want to do is we want to make sure this button cannot be clicked. So allows hit testing only if we can continue. So let's just make sure we won't be able to click our button unless everything is good to go. Now, the other thing we want to make sure is that we have the ability to view all the errors that need to be viewed. So we're gonna go ahead and create our text here that just says, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say if let error equal to auth view model dot error, and we're just gonna pass that error, and we're gonna do dot tint, and this is gonna be dot red, and we'll just make this bold, and yeah, that should be good. Honestly, I think that's pretty okay. Now the next thing we want to make sure is we just want to make it so that anytime we start typing in any of these, yeah, it works out. Yes, sir. All right, no, I'm coming.
Okay, I'm just turning over there at 17th and Oliver, so
Okay.
I'll be there quickly.
Okay. Okay, and yeah, we're just gonna make sure what's missing here. All right. Okay. And as far as our being able to log in and log out is concerned, that should be done. Now I'm gonna cut this video short just because I do have to head to church, and so I won't be back in a few hours. I will continue the video on, so it is a little bit of a short video, but there will be a video same day. You can literally go check it out. But thanks for watching though. Be sure to check out the Patreon, and everything should be available there.